Here we are, of course, here at Laurel Park, Cali Francois here as your host, Keith Fustel, morning line odds maker next to me. Keith, we're back here on a nice. It's starting to tease me a little bit because we're getting warmer and warmer weather here today.
A little tease, a little tease. Yeah, it's beautiful today. Look at this, 70 degrees, sun shining, big day on, right here at lovely Laurel Park with the handicapping contest. Lots of things going on. If you can make it out, please do. If you wanted to be made to look like a full handicapping races, yesterday was the day. Just winner after winner after winner coming up. I couldn't make heads or tails of some of these winners yesterday. You have days like that. You just kind of dust yourself off and just keep on rolling.
Right. I've got a price report from yesterday. Race number 2 paid $30.20. Victor Carrasco for Gonzalez, 14-1. Race number 3, paying $59.40. Kevin G for TJ Aguirre at 25-1. Race number 4 was a $27.60 payout for William Humphrey and Annette Eubanks. And race number 6 was a $64.40 winner with Charlie Marquez for Wayne Cole at 30-1. And guess what? That was an off the turf day yesterday, and we've got that again today.
Wow.
Off the turf, fast track. Everything's really looking nice and sharp out there on the track. But race number 1 is the claiming 16 winners of Never Won 2, taken off the turf. So we're at the 1-turn mile here on the dirt. Scratch the 1, 5, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, and 16. Keith, that leaves our selections we're pretty on spot with On the Engine number 4 for Damon DeVico, Horacio Caramandos. This one pretty interchangeable whether he's on the dirt or the turf.
Yeah, it's been pretty versatile. Barn, as we know, is on an absolute tear right now. And On the Engine, the 2-back race was good. August the 12th, off the turf event at 1 1/8 miles. We're going to go a little short of the 1-turn mile today. I like his tactical speed. He was against the grain of the racetrack that day after having a little bit of early adversity. Bumped around, steadied early, had to go up and make a wide move. I like the way this horse just kind of kept on going and going and going. He's got positional speed. I think he'll sit just off of it. They may try to attack. There's a couple other horses in here that could possibly go, but I think On the Engine is going to be hard-pressed to not be 1-2 in here with a good break.
With a good break. We've got both have Kid Bourbon underneath, Bob Placeres, Jaron Barbosa in the saddle this time. Last time we saw this one on the dirt, not a great event, but that was a first-time start with Michael Charles Aro. We've got this horse is in Bob Placeres' barn again, and listen, the barn's red hot and also running well from. They're holding that nicer-ish form from Pimlico to Laurel for his barn as well.
Yeah, he talked about how the barn's going 5 for 16 in Maryland the last couple of months for a 31% clip ROI, close to $3. Yeah, Kid Bourbon, you got the Barbosa factor again. He had 2 winners again yesterday. Yep. All this kid does is win and carries horses to the wire. They just seem to keep going and going and going.
They run for him.
Yeah, they do. And this one here, the biggest key is the start. You go on his page. He's got a lot of troubled beginnings. Yep. I think if he can come out of the gate fairly cleanly, he'll matriculate up, be fairly forward by the time they turn for home. I go 4, 7, 9. Fred is a 10, I should say. Fred is a 10, sneaky.
I like that, yes.
A little shot here. If you're looking for that
Sneaky
stranger,
shot.
never been on the main track, Callie, but I went back and looked. Vancouver, the stallion, you think it's turf. No, he's 18% with his dirt routers.
Right.
Half to a horse that was grade 3 stakes place on the dirt. So there's some
go.
dirt breeding there for the 9. Fred is a 10.
Fred is a 10.
All right.
Let's see if Fred can make it a 10 across the wire in that first race. Race number 2 starts the early pick 4. Keith's got a ticket for us. Let's see how you play it this time on an off-the-turf day.
$18 ticket. There's speed here in race 2. A couple of these horses I think just want to go, and Spritzer could just kind of be that one that really messes thing up for the horses on the front end. So I go with 2 horses that look to be closing in here. Icy Minister, the 2 with Barbosa for Hammy Smith, and the 4 Mystified. Race 3 with the 4, 5, and 10. Shorter field. Karen probably going to be the favorite there with Crimson Rocket. We'll have to deal with He Rolls on the front, and maybe the 5 can slip up there and catch him late. Race 4 with the 1, 2, and 3. Not Away, Zevion, Fast Breaking Cash. Not Away looks to me all or nothing from the inside. Race 5, 3, and 6. Boondoggle, a little price shot, and Drive by Layover. There's Dale Cap Barbosa. I think that horse will improve off its most recent try. Had a tough little trip at Delaware.
He
18 bucks.
he did. That's a nice ticket. I like that. I like that setup of that ticket. But race number 2, that's where the early pick 4 kicks off. Claiming 16, never win 2, 8 on furlongs on the dirt as intended. This time for the 3-year-olds and up. Keith, you land on your value play of the day. The number 2, Icy Minister. I love this as your top pick for Hamby Smith, which again, Jaron Barbosa on top. Jaron Barbosa is getting run out of this horse on the dirt. Brooke is maiden at this route of ground today.
Yeah, kind of, back to a lower level in the dirt. Has hooked some types like Uncle Irish, Majestic Frontier, was just a little bit better. Had some flow in those races, just couldn't quite get there. Against this caliber of horses, I think he's got the shot to just kind of steadily move up and grind these horses down. We've got a video of It's Over. It's Over, Muggsy Malone, very similar running styles, both from the outside. I do think they're going to be forward with alert brakes at the one-turn mile. We look at It's Over's last race. Just 7 or 8 days ago. It's just
right.
Yeah, and a big effort. Did all the dirty work, chase, and just kept on going.
Lead.
Yeah, stayed on that left lead there for a while, right? And has
But
finally
I like
switched
that.
over.
I like that late lead change. That's that I don't have a problem with. But this one, that's the only reason I kept him a little bit underneath is that it's just such a short turnaround for me. I understand. I mean, he's absolutely attractive in this spot, but just kept him underneath a little bit just for that reason. But again, will have that style. There's a little bit more speed than I think is going to show on the paper. I think there's going to be a little bit more popping out of the gates once they open up in today's race.
You like the 5, El Segundo.
I do.
All right,
I
let's
do.
hear it because I don't have them there. And Chucky Lawrence, turf to dirt angle. What do you have for El Segundo?
James Toner.
I'm sorry, James Toner.
Yeah, that's all right. Jimmy Toner for Victor Carrasco. I'm just keying in. I'm keying in a little bit that this horse this horse needs a little bit of time. He needed a little bit of time to get going. He got that win at Turfway Park on that surface. I just think transferring back to the dirt, I don't have any really strong stats for Jimmy Toner going to the dirt, but Munnings, he's pretty dependable. I think as long as Victor sends this horse a little bit, because that's what I'm looking at. This horse is a bit one-paced on the dirt. That's how I think this horse is, and that's exactly what Victor tried to do last time out and just wasn't able to quite get there. I like this one-turn mile for El Segundo. That's the biggest thing for him today. I think he's gonna be okay on that.
All right.
All right. Without that, race number 3, this maiden claiming 30, originally scheduled on the turf, now on the 5.5 on the dirt scratch. The 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, and 9. That leaves us with the 5 and the 10. You go with Northern TikTok. I go with Crimson Rocket, but let's hear the Ollie Figgins, Charlie Marquez duo. I like that combination.
Well, just looking for a little bit of a price. This horse has
Sure.
been a long price every race, 12-1 in debut. I thought the 2-back try was okay. It jostled start inside, mild mid-move before flattening out against Invective, who didn't run well on the stretch out.
Right.
Yes, it ran terrible, backed up. But anyhow, made that move against the grain of the racetrack, I thought. Came back and closed well on the turf. Short field, shouldn't encounter too much trouble.
Right.
Yes, he rolls, and Crimson Rocket might just run away from this field early and have their own little match race and carry it. But if somebody's going to kind of pick up the pieces, I'm looking for the 5 offers a little bit better value. Hard to kind of really fall in love with anything in here. So
Fair enough.
We'll
Fair
see.
enough.
Yep.
Fair enough. Absolutely. Race number 4, that starter optional 20, 7 furlongs on the dirt as intended. A scratch in the a big scratch to me in the number 7 Ghost Game. So that leaves us both on the number 2 Xavion for Ernesto Padilla Preciado, but this horse is also included in my Rainbow Pick 6 ticket. I go double down here. I couldn't really find a single for today. I tried to find, I could have, in races 6 and 7, I could have singled in on those, but I just decided to not do a single today. Race number 5 and 8, that's where I go wide in those races. Race number 5 is, as intended, 7 furlongs on the dirt, a couple scratches in there, but claiming 5, you got to go a little bit wide in there. Race number 8, that is where I go. I do go a bit wide in there. That's an off the turf event going short. That is where, again, I include almost half the field, but these horses that are going from the turf to the dirt, it gets a little bit competitive there. But number 3 Quick Tempo looks pretty good to me in that race. A $51.20 ticket to get you started on that. But going back to race number 4 on the number 2. Excuse me, I'm scrolling to just find my place a little bit. Give me just a quick second. Yep, Xavion 4
Hmm.
with the shipping. Just to me, looking at that Parks event, I like that. I like that. He didn't get the best trip. He had a bit of a wide trip. I'm going to
Hmm.
give him a little bit of leeway for that. But just
Hmm.
interesting shipping, I thought. Why not?
Second off a little bit of a break, and
Sure.
I have a staggering stat here for Ernesto Padilla Preciado. Last 14 days been pretty good to the Preciado stable. 5 for 10, 50%, 6 for 10 in the money. Look at that ROI
There we
to
go.
doozy, $10. And combining up, hooking up with his owner, JKX Racing, who wins some races up there at Parks, 3 for 5 during
Wow.
that time span.
Okay.
So there you go, Zevion. We'll be able to kind of sit and save ground. Vargas comes in right for the ride. I didn't get
Yes. Yep.
any change of
Nope.
rider
No
there. So
changes.
Georgie Vargas Jr. comes in, sits the inside trip, not away in fast breaking cash, even asking for a basket. Gonna have some targets. I think we'll be able to kind of finish a little bit stronger. Second off the bench, second off the claim for Zevion. Not away to me looks like all or nothing for Lacey Gaudette. We're dropping
Same.
down to
Yep.
20. Did not have any intent to go to the front with no money, no honey last time off the break,
Right.
and just faded away. He is the fastest early when he's right. Is he right's the question. He's going
That's
to try to
yes.
set sail. He'll have some company with the 3 and even the 4, asking for a basket, but not away. I just didn't know what to do with him. I think I can depend on the 2 to sit the trip and work its way into a 1-2 finish in here in the 4th.
Agreed. Plenty of to go on the outside. If you go 2-pack, that's exactly the kind of trip that he had. A
Mm-hmm.
little bit. He had a little bit of issues. Even he still had a little bit of issues being on and near the rail 2-back, and was still able to overcome it a little bit. I left the one off for the reasons that you were questioning about,
Mm-hmm.
and then I love Girls Love Me coming back off of a little bit off of that layoff. I'm a big fan of that horse. But race number 5 is that claiming 5,000, 7 furlongs on the dirt. Scratch the 1 and the 10. Keith, you land on the number 6 drive by layover. Dale Capuano loves this horse. This horse always tries every single time. Gets J. Ron Barbosa today.
Yeah, there's your factor right there. All he does is win. Just play Barbosa every race, every day. But no, I went back and watched the videos. Some fast horses at Delaware that he encountered last time. He drew inside, broke a beat slow, had to rush up inside of horses and battled and chased in just a little bit of a fade. I think moving out to 7/8, drawing a little further to the outside of this other speed horse in Moja Cat, Mojack Cat. I think he's going to be able to relax a little bit and bring a finish. He'll get back to winning ways here for Dale. I think he's going to be a little bit lower price. Certainly lower. We've got 2 scratches out, but going back, I had this horse line too high in the first place.
Okay, fair
Yep.
enough. Fair enough. Definitely. So we see that pretty similarly. I include the 8 So Long Chuck just for fun, just underneath for Jose, the ship and Jose Angelo, Javian Toledo. These 2 haven't gotten a win yet, and Jose's doing okay for the shippings that he's had at Laurel Park. But why not take a chance with a horse on the outside that's been going long, going to the lead? We get the 7. It's a similar. It's going to be a little bit of a similar setup for this horse when he's on that outside post. We will be right back to talk about the rest of the card here. Just sit tight.
We're ready for the start. They're off.
And we're back to an off the turf event. Scratch the 1, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, and 13. This claiming 25, which have never won 3. We are going to set it back up to a 1-turn mile here on the dirt. You land on the number 3, your best bet in that race, Royal Spy for Linda Albert, getting a win a couple days ago. This time, Yomar Ortiz retaining the ride on this gelding.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get much price. Virgie will probably be the favorite.
Yep.
I think will be for Trombetta. But Royal Spy, I've always been kind of a fan of this horse. He's shown ability. He's flashed it. I don't know if he's ever gotten to that full potential that maybe they thought or I thought he was going to show. But the only time he went the 1-turn mile was off of a break against a good field. He's kind of worked himself back into shape. He's showing the ability to kind of make a closing move into some quicker fractions. I think he's going to grind it out here today. I think Gilmore's going to be able to get in position just off of Gallant Gold, and maybe he can separate a little bit, or those two just kind of carry a duel to the wire if the early pace is not too demanding. 28% is Blofeld right now on these dirt route runners. That's pretty strong.
There we
but
go.
Burgie's going to take a lot of play in here.
Burgie, yeah, Burgie will take actually, and Blofeld more specifically 40% with his second-time routers specifically.
Okay.
So there we go. Short field for race number 5. So we'll go ahead to race number 7. This maiden claiming 30, 7 furlongs here on the dirt. Keith, you land on the number 4. No time like the present. Michael Trombetta with the blinkers on. I like that horse on top today.
Yeah, this is a little similar trip to a video we showed yesterday, but unfortunately Silver Patron was out of the gate, got in a lot of trouble. He took a little right-hand turn, bounced around, had to check steady. That was out. Do we have a video of this one or no?
We do.
Let's show it. No time like the present. Blinkers go on. A little scary drop here. One race and then right in for the tag, but the break was not good on September the 11th on that sloppy sealed surface. Bounced around, kind of pinballed in between horses. A lot of bumping going on. Flashed a little bit of speed, okay, and I use this horse a little bit 11-1 on this particular afternoon. Showed speed and then kind of drafted back well off the pace as Take Charge 2 went to take the initiative, Invective. And this horse actually showed a little bit of a late run, was trying. You see the short count, man? Bump, swung 6 wide, trying. I try to put those in there. A lot of times people may not pick it up in the videos.
Right.
Blinkers go on. I think he can kind of lay within range. He showed that hint of speed, of tactical speed. I think he'll bring a finish. He's out of a mare that's produced horses that win early. It's a win early family. Little Shot holds value there in the 7th. Strategic, clearly going to be the horse to catch here for Damon.
Yeah, absolutely strategic. That horse is going to be sent, especially from the rail for the 7 furlongs. But the 7 furlong fits for this horse. That's my biggest thing, is that the 7 he's going to absolutely love this distance here today. Of course, a new horse in the Deal de Vico barn, 35% in the last 17 starts. That's pretty deadly. Some nice works leading up to that as well. Yeah. So 4-1, 6-5.
Real quick, on the 6, Imagine It All, Dale Capuano is still kind of protecting. This third time Dale. Maybe this horse's head is getting tied on straight right now. Tossed the head, threw it around a Timonium, a little 3-wide effort, and kind of faded away. Turf going long, I used last time. I'm still chasing this horse. Now coming back to a sprint on the dirt, extended sprint at 7/8. Was willing in debut, going 5/8, closed up willingly in there. I'm not going to give up on Imagine It All. Hopefully we see his best effort today, but I'll key around the 4 because that's going to hold my best value.
I agree. I picked Imagine It All underneath specifically because Rui is on this horse in the past couple of starts. He's been. It depends what Georgie gets told in the paddock, but this horse has been sent in the past couple of races, and we just take a look at you just mentioned it. Take a look at that off the turf event first time out. Comes a bit not quite from behind, but mid pack from behind, and you take that a little bit further to that 7, hits him right on the nose. Race number 8 in that starter optional off the turf event with the scratch with the 1, the 4, the 5, 7, 9, 11, and 12. That leaves us with still a couple of our picks all over the place. You land on the number, actually, you land on the number 10.
I do.
Sorry, I have your old picks.
The old picks.
I have
just
the old
didn't
picks.
make it. No, it was a scratch as I was driving down in here. So, yeah, I had to readjust on Route 70. So, yeah. Okay,
readjusting right out of the paddock here right before he got on the set. Charge to victory for Carlos Mencia. Georgie Ruiz gets the call for this one. Last time they teamed up together, tried to gun for the lead, and just didn't quite have enough finish.
Yeah, an inside to the outside kind of move, right, for Charge to victory. Can handle into some quick internals and have some run left. I like the little shortening up here to 5.5. I mean, main presence there, quick tempo. The claim hasn't quite panned out yet, but they're still holding a level here about 20. Might be the speed of the speed if he's really tied on and goes. Imperial King another one. But I think Charge to Victory will be able to kind of sit chilly. If he wants to spy the speed, he can go ahead and spy it.
I like that. I like that move, which is why I have him underneath. I went with quick tempo for Kieran McGee just because this horse Kieran McGee just took a couple of shots with this horse and the light the fuse, and just essentially dropping this horse down to a bit of a proper spot, which is why he's recently thorough manager stat 28% third after the claim. But that's a pretty normal stat for McGee anyway. This horse is a need the lead type. I don't normally go for need the lead types, but again, McGee is good at kind of sharpening these horses up, especially at the 5.5. So it'll be a battle between the 3 and the 10, and the 10 might have a little bit of an edge, but we'll see what happens with this.
Where are you getting these third after the claim stats? Where are you
Thorough
getting those?
manager.
Thorough manager.
Thorough manager.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. So
Paying high dollar for all this information, I see, huh?
race number 9, our
Okay.
nightcap of the day, is a maiden claiming at 20. You land on the number 1, the Jerry Robb. Hope he's fast on the rail with Perez Timonium last time out, and Timonium to Laurel. Short sampling. Robb's doing pretty well with that, winning a second out of just 3 entries.
Yeah, SS Sinatra, second place finisher, came out of there to run a 58. Good enough for me. Just got the prep that he needed. There's a little bit of a stronger, even shorter sprint lean when I kind of looked at the bottom side here, but let's hope the experience pays off that race and kind of goes out there. I expect this horse to be forward. Dave Robin threw me a stat for Jerry Robb this morning. We're talking, having a cup of coffee. 23% with the 2-year-olds. Second start with an ROI of 282. That's good enough. A couple of these first interesting, Brittany Russell, she's been lights out with these maiden claiming 2-year-olds in making their debut. The Factor, Rock My World, this is a first foal to race. The other one hasn't made it to the races. Strong turf lane on the bottom side, though, for me. So we'll see with that one. Player Boy gets Barbosa. That's all you need to know right there. They went out and sought the services of J-Ron.
Exactly. That's why I went with the Brittany Russell first-time starter. Jerry Robb to back that up, and then I go with Over the Border just because of respectable finish, but bumping up in class a little bit. And then, of course, Player Boy, McMahon, Barbosa. Why not go for it? A couple talking points that we have going on here in the lightning round before we get going on today's card. There is a mandatory payout, pick 6 payout that we've got going on at Santa Anita today. That's going to approach probably, as you can see, about $2 million. That starts in race number 5. Post time is 3:10 Pacific time. I haven't done the conversion,
that's
so
6:10
there
Eastern.
we go, 6:10
you
Eastern
go.
time. Keith Fusel, not only good with numbers on odds, but numbers with time as well.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Maryland Million that we've got going on next week. The pre-entries came out. There are about 310 pre-entries out here right now. I took a quick look from the Laurel Park press release about who's right now. We have 28 in the Classic, 22 in that turf. 32 in the distaff, 26 in the nursery, 30 in the lassie, 32 on the dirt sprint, and 23 on the turf. Ladies, I need to get a number on that turf sprint, but some nice horses coming up for this weekend.
Leading the way for the Classic is it Cordmaker?
Oh, yes,
correct?
it is. Yes, correct.
Cordmaker has not been seen. I took a couple notes here for our lightning round.
Give it to us.
Cordmaker, I think he was 5th in the Maryland Million Classic back in 2020. Hasn't been seen for a while, but he started 2022 really well. He's won his first 2 starts, including the Grade 3 General George as the 6-5 favorite in there. What a cool horse he's been, right?
Oh,
14
so cool.
for 36, almost right near $1 million, 989,000 in earnings. Cordmaker, a fan favorite here in the Mid-Atlantic region. So hoping all is well. I see he's got 6 reported works since September the 2nd, so hopefully he's ready to roll.
Right, and they're just running him like a properly graded campaigned horse. And I mean, they run him well. Just give him a little bit of time, let him rest a little bit. He had his 2021, that was quite a campaign that he had going on in 2021. So get a win in 2022. Give the guy a break. And you see a lot of these nice horses that last a long time. They get some time in between races, in between campaigns, and is able to do it again. Look at what Wisedan was able to do, our little Maryland version of Wisedan, not on the dirt that we have going on here. But one horse that also went well on the dirt was Congruent, who won our Laurel Fraternity on and off going track, and he's headed to the Breeders' Cup, Keith.
Wow. Okay. I mean, we've seen it before, some of these horses, the 2-year-olds coming out and moving on to bigger and better things. Breeders' Cup, I talked about it on the show, I think, this particular day, sharing, right, for Grand Motion. So, yeah, good luck to Congruent. Hopefully we can kind of propel another one to a big effort.
They were considering both the juvenile turf and the juvenile, but I think they're going to gear towards the juvenile a little bit. He's a son of Laurel. He's a son of Laurel Fraternity winner Tappet, out of the
okay.
Grade 2 winning mare Part the Seas. So he's scheduled to breeze Saturday at Parks. So he did breeze this morning at Parks. So they're going to prep him there. And again, these Laurel Fraternity, the Salima Stakes, these launch pads for a couple of these young, up and coming, precocious 2-year-olds. But let's take a look at, again, your best bet and your value play of the day, Keith.
Yeah, hopefully we can get a couple of these home. Race 6-3, Royal Spy. I was hoping for a little better price. Some horses stay in, but
Good luck
let's
with
see
that.
on the stretch back. Yomar Ortiz and Linda Albert. Let's hopefully get that little stalking trip and kind of grind it out through the stretch. I think that's what's going to take. Value play goes early. Race 2, you still might hold a little value here with Icy Minister, targeting that speed. He doesn't have much, so hopefully things kind of get a little bit contested up front. He can make a steady progression up to him with the hot riding bug rider. So there you go.
There's Keith Busel's value play of the day that I particularly love today. Let's see how he lands those starting in about 36 minutes. But we're going to check in with Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches.
Okay, good luck.